So you can prove that if I say I owe you money. Thank you, Christine. Thomas Edison, he was a pretty creative guy, and he once said that, you know, a lot of times people don't recognize opportunity when it's in front of them because it usually wears overalls and looks like hard work. And I really love that quote, and I think it's very true because opportunity is just that. It's a possibility, and it depends on what you make of it. And I was thinking about, this is my last speech for this Competent Communicator, inspirational, and it's June, which right now is a lot of graduations and, you know, closing of one part of your life and beginning another. And I think we think a lot about, you know, when we're younger, we have these opportunities that we don't have later on in life. Well, I think that's junk. I don't really abide by that, and I don't think it's true. I think we're a youth-oriented culture, and we like to focus on that. But you don't have to start something new in your life before you end something. And it certainly doesn't have to be started in your life when you're young. And I think that we have a lot of opportunity, and the opportunities provide us with these little nuggets in our life that make it exciting and inspirational and make us move forward and grow. For example, there's a lot of ways that you can gain these opportunities if you look for them, if you have an open mind, open ears, and open eyes. For example, you know, you bump into somebody you haven't seen for 20 years. You have by chance you have a conversation with them, and it makes you kind of fired up about something, a topic, you know. So that's kind of a way to take opportunity and move forward in your life with that. Or maybe someone's giving a inspirational speech at a Toastmasters meeting. So you start to think about that. Or perhaps you just are reading something in the paper and it really intrigues you. Well, that's kind of a little reminder or an opportunity for you to seize on that and think, hey, this is something that interests me. I think I'm going to pursue it. And if we just think, oh, well, I've got too much going on, or I'm settled in my life, I don't really want to take another class or look into this or into that, that's really not going to lead you much into another avenue in your life, or very enriching for that matter. So I was thinking back to when I was in my 20s. I graduated from college, and I started working for a company, a consulting firm, and it was a seasonal job. And I really liked the job. So I was working there for a few months. My boss calls me in and says, hey, I need to talk to you. And I'm thinking, yes, permanent employment. Okay, benefits, this is going to be great. Well, that's not what happened. It was, we're laying you off. And, you know, here's your box, get your things. And I was really bummed out. And I thought, oh, you know, my life's over. You know, when you're in your 20s, you really do feel like this is it. You know, I'm never going to move on. And I was pretty bummed out. So I didn't have a job, and I was looking and getting kind of discouraged. And I went on a bike ride with a friend who was a grad student up at UCSB, and we're riding, and she said, so what are you going to do now? And I said, look for a job. Duh. You know, and she said, no, that's not what I mean. She said, do you ever think about doing something else? And I said, not really. I'm kind of focused on getting some money so I can, you know, pay my rent. And I was just really kind of short-sighted. And she said, think about traveling. And I said, I can't really travel. I'm broke. You know, this is the time when you get a job. And she said, well, imagine if you were to go somewhere, where would you go? So we had this sort of hypothetical conversation. Up the hill, it was kind of a long hill, and I said, okay, so I'm kind of entertaining her idea. And then I went home and didn't think much about it until I got a phone call from my sister, who said she was in school and said she wanted to go to Vietnam to learn about Buddhism. It was part of her studies. And she said, I'm going to be going there, and hey, are you interested in meeting me down there? And I said, oh, okay. I started finding a way to make some money to pay for the ticket, because it's pretty cheap in Vietnam once you're there. It's very inexpensive to eat and to pay for a place to stay. So she said, why don't you go ahead and meet me there? So I did. And I ended up spending 2 months just traveling on my own. I was there for a couple weeks, then I went around, traveled in Southeast Asia. And it wasn't a vacation, I wouldn't say. It was more of an adventure. And I really learned a lot about myself and what it means to be self-sufficient. So I came back and I thought, okay, well, maybe now that I've learned all these new things, I'll get a job right away. Well, I didn't necessarily get something right away, but what I did get was an opportunity. I was flipping through the paper and I saw an ad for someone giving a talk about a bike ride through Vietnam. I thought, well, that's interesting. I just came back. So I went to it, and the guy was talking about it, met some other people. And before I knew it, those contacts actually led me to a job, because that person had worked for Department of Food and Agriculture, which gave me another opportunity and a job. And I thought, had I not gone to Vietnam, had I not listened to my friend, I really don't know, I probably would have ended up with something else, but it was just that opportunity. And it comes in all kinds of forms. So I was thinking what a wonderful opportunity you could have in front of you, but unless you're looking for the tuxedo or the flashy whatever that's going to get you where you want to go, you have to be able to see beyond that. You have to be able to look at something and see, this could be an opportunity. It may be nothing, but if you don't do anything or take any action, you know where that will end up, which is probably where you are right now. And just these golden moments really can be exciting little nuggets into your life and really lead you off into different paths. And if anything else, you could be an inspiration to someone else, be a role model for somebody else. So just think about that next time you have a pair of overalls staring you in the face and an opportunity. Thank you.